John Brown is an award-winning short story writer. The first book in his epic fantasy series is Servant of a Dark God from Tor Books. Larry Correia is the gun-happy author of Monster Hunter International from Bayan Books.
What is happening with the problem? All right? So here we go. I use this all the time. I got a monster, Grendel, okay? Monster's coming in, except this is my own version of Grendel, right? Monster's coming in, right? I've got a problem. I've got to kill the monster. That's my decision. I go after it, right? And then what happens? Do I kill the monster? If I kill it, yes, I killed the monster. But Mama comes up, and Mama is 10 times worse than Grendel, right? No, I didn't kill the monster, and now, furthermore, right, the monster bit me, right, and he's infected me, right, and now I got problems, all right? Or no, I didn't kill the monster, now I got his blood on me, right? Or yes, I did kill the monster, now I got... You see how that works? And all of a sudden, I'm up here with a problem again. If you can't do that, you can't go anywhere. When authors say, I don't know what to write next, it's usually because they don't know how their problem is working, all right? They need to be able to go kick it up and around the circle again. So, you talk about the very first scene in your book, and then the next scene.
My book opens up where the main character is at work. He's an accountant, and his boss turns into a werewolf and tries to eat him. He manages to defend himself. He tosses his boss. He snaps the werewolf's neck and shoves him out a 14-story window. He almost dies in the process, though. He's injured. He wakes up in the hospital. Problem, werewolf, killed it.
Yes, but...
Now he's in the hospital. He's approached by federal agents telling him he needs to keep his mouth shut about monsters or they'll shoot him in the head. And he's then approached by a company who offers him a job to kill monsters.
But the federal agents are there. Why?
Because they're worried he might turn into a werewolf.
He might turn into a werewolf. Okay? Do you see how he said, yes, I killed the werewolf, but I have federal agents after me. I also have an opportunity. You remember our 3 types of problems? He's got an opportunity now. Oh, cool. I might be able to go hunt monsters. Okay? And that's an opportunity, especially for the reader. Here's mine.
And it does continue, though, because it goes on to training. They fight a monster. Yes, they beat it. Yes, but there's a worse monster. So on and so forth. And
all the way to the end of the book.
Escalating.
All the way to the end of the book. Do you see how that works? The yes, but, no furthermore is the key. Now, there's another key in the middle, but we'll talk about that in a second. We need to get into it. So let's take our Mormon. Let's take our Mormon thing. Let's take our kidnapping thing, right? The real problem is we got this Mormon guy, right, next door trying to take us down. Okay? I could start with that, and we could just escalate. Things could get worse, right? Because the Mormons got friends or whatever. I don't know. Now I got the cops after me because I had this bad history. So we could do that and just make things worse and worse. Or we could start off and we could have the kidnapping, right? That's a problem. It's a mystery, right? And I go out. I've got a scene. I find out. We follow some clues, right? I got another scene where we follow some clues. We find some, the tire tracks, whatever. And then I find out, oh crap, this isn't, right? I've solved this little, it's not a kidnapping. Something else is going on. Do you see how this is moving along? So you can have little ones and we're going to do this, in fact, with our story in just a second.
And a lot of the problems will suggest themselves to you as you're going through. Like, you won't have thought of them at the beginning, but as you're writing along, you're like, ooh, what if there's a corrupt sheriff's deputy on the take from this other rancher? And there's your next problem.
Yeah. So just think this. I've got this big problem, right? How do I run into it? And it might be that I don't know yet what it is, but what's the very first step? How do I run into it? Right? If you think about Spider-Man 2, right? Or Mel Gibson's Ransom when this kid gets kidnapped, right? Kid's kidnapped? What's the real problem? Well, or what's the twist in the problem? Did anybody see that movie? Yeah, it's extortion, but when he puts out a ransom, he says, I want the money. But what's another twist in this thing? It's a cop, right? It's the good guys that are doing it, right? So that's another twist in the problem. It makes it even worse. So that's how it works. Let me do mine, okay? Here's the beginning of my story, right? I've got this girl, and they're two different clans, 2 different races, right? The one's oppressed and the conquered people, and the other isn't. She goes outside, and there's this whole army of people marching on her family's house, okay? Obviously a problem. And what happens? Well, she finds out during that, okay, not only does she not overcome this thing that she's being hunted, right? But she finds out that not only do we have the prejudice there? But, right, her mother is actually this soul eater, okay? And so she's got bigger problems than she originally thought she had, okay?
Slithery.
Right? Okay, but that's not my main problem. In my world, humans are being ranched, not for their flesh, but their souls. If soul's real, right, there's a food chain based on it, and they're being ranched for this. She doesn't find that. They don't find that out for 100 pages, okay? Because they're still dealing with these other little problems. Let's think of another one. What's another story that we can take and look at with this? Do you have a story? That happens a lot, right? We start with a very small thing. And then when he goes to fix the small thing, like with the farmer, right? My tractor's gone. He goes out to find his tractor, right? And that's when the werewolf strikes. No, that's when something else happens.
You could do it either way. You could start with a small thing. Like John's book starts on a kind of a relatively innocuous, kind of innocent note with Talon.
Yep.
Yeah.
His pants are gone. He's got no pants. Right? So he's like running around half naked, trying to figure out what's going on.
Or on page 2, you could have a werewolf try to eat somebody. So there's not really a right way to do it.
Okay. The key thing, though, is going around this cycle. Now, there's one other thing, and then we got to do this, because this is usually the hardest thing. Conflict and surprise. Conflict and surprise. I put this as a little dynamo here in the middle. When you're in each one of these steps, you need to be thinking about conflicts and surprises. Because that's what gets you, that's what a yes but no furthermore is. It's a conflict and a surprise. So let me see if I put this down here. Let me ask you something. Oh, here it is. Back on the first page, number 9, complicate. When we're looking at the problem. Conflicts with heroes' other values or desires. I'm going to present a dilemma. Is there any type of dilemma? This guy, we've got our person here, right? Our doctor. Are there going to be any type of conflicts that he might have? Any type of things that would conflict with his other desires to solve this case? So he wants to solve this case, but if he solves this case, it does this bad thing. What would that be? Do no harm. Okay. Do no harm. So he's got to hurt somebody? Okay. He's got to hurt somebody to get this thing done. What's another one? Go ahead. Okay. A little bad drug. I'll just say bad drug. Okay. Go ahead, Dan. Hiding out. He wants to be left alone and do his ranch. If he brings in do you see how there's a little dilemma there for him? Go ahead. So he feels guilty. He knows the rancher's out to get him, but he feels guilty because he killed his daughter.
That makes your bad guy more interesting, too.
Okay. Great. What's another one? Okay, he has family threats, right? You could imagine in this story, he goes out, he starts looking into it, right? And all of a sudden he finds out what's going on, and he starts getting a threat notice, right? You look into this anymore.